As parents, we all want to wave a magic wand and end bullying instantly. But the reality is that it's a process, and one that takes time and commitment and the right tools. In this episode, I'm going to break down the 5 things that are absolutely essential to stopping bullying for good. These aren't quick fixes, but they are proven strategies that work when put into practice over time. And if you're wondering how to pull all of this together, stick around, because I'll be sharing how my Bully-Proof Academy is designed to cover all 5 of these crucial steps, empowering both parents and kids to put an end to bullying. Hey, I'm Kimberly Conicella, massive anti-bullying advocate and mother to 2 beautiful kids, a qualified education and communications expert who went from being bullied, dealing with the trauma of it, into teaching kids how to deal with conflict. Now I'm obsessed with helping other parents to do the same with my business that's changed lives of hundreds of kids worldwide, the Courage Edition. Each week, I'll be releasing episodes that give you simple, actionable, and practical advice so that you can decode and explore the multiple different pieces of the puzzle for overcoming bullying and conflict so that you can feel relieved and your child can feel empowered and strong. Because a child shouldn't have to be worrying about being picked on or dealing with hurtful bullying. So if you're a courageous parent like me, yet feel totally helpless in supporting your child through bullying and friendship conflicts, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to the Courage Edition podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Conicella, and today we're talking about why bullying can't be stopped in one go and what 5 things your child needs for bullying to actually go away. Bullying is an ongoing issue that doesn't resolve with a single conversation or a one-time intervention. Nearly 20% of students both here in Australia and in the US report being bullied each year, and research from the American Psychological Association shows that bullying can lead to long-term emotional and psychological impacts like anxiety, depression, and even suicidal thoughts in severe cases. So why can't bullying be stopped in one go? It's easy to think that bullying can be stopped with a quick fix, but the truth is it's a complex problem. Bullying isn't just about one person being mean to another. It involves social dynamics, emotional trauma, ingrained behaviors, and cultural factors that all need to be addressed. It's a multi-layered issue, and stopping bullying takes time and intentional effort. So today, I want to break down the 5 key components that are essential to stopping bullying and why they need to be approached holistically over time. So when it comes to bullying, it's a behavior that's happening regularly and over a period of time. A one-off nasty situation is not bullying. And although these one-off situations can feel heavy and devastating when it does happen, it's not something that will impact a child's inner strength as severely as something that is constantly happening. Bullying gets worse the longer it continues because the impact on the mindset of the victim is constantly being attacked, and it's constantly weakening the victim's belief about themselves. This is why the emotional and psychological impacts of bullying can be long-term. So just like bullying takes a period of time to traumatize someone, coming back from being bullied and stopping bullying takes time too. This is why the courage cups come in handy, which I explained in episode 2. By using 2 cups, one filled with water that represents courage and inner strength, it demonstrates how when a bully is nasty, their courage and inner strength begins to fill up the bully's cup, and over time empties their cup, and the bully holds all of the strength and power. But over time, by providing support and with little steps that empower, build courage and inner strength, the child being bullied begins to refill their cup until they've taken back all of their courage and strength from the bully. You need to ensure that they have these 5 things. The first thing is inner strength. Surprise, surprise. One of the most empowering things you can help your child develop is their inner strength, which I talk about in episode 2. So I won't talk about it for too long now. But if your child has inner strength, they're less likely to become or continue to be a victim of bullying. And research shows just how crucial this is. One thing I actually need to clarify is that inner strength isn't just about being externally tough. It's about emotional resilience, self-confidence, and the ability to manage challenges in a healthy way. If your child is emotionally strong, they can face difficulties like bullying with a sense of control and self-worth and won't easily allow the negativity of others to affect their sense of who they are. When your child has this inner foundation, they're far less likely to be targeted by bullies, who often prey on kids who appear vulnerable or insecure. If your child is confident and has a strong sense of self, they won't give off the signals that bullies look for, which is fear, low self-esteem, or emotional fragility. And research backs this up. Studies from the American Psychological Association shows that resilient children are better equipped to handle their emotions, especially in difficult social situations. So, building your child's inner strength and resilience means that they won't let things like teasing or exclusion weigh them down for long. Instead, they'll bounce back, staying emotionally stable and move forward without internalizing the negativity. I was the exact opposite of emotionally resilient. Being bullied for over 12 months really took its toll on me. And I remember these feelings of worthlessness, that I wasn't worth anyone's attention or care, and I carried that through high school and into university. And I remember when I was working through the trauma of bullying in my early 20s with my psychologist, she said to me something that rocked my belief system, because up until then, I was waiting for someone to come and stand up for me in life because I'd needed that back then and no one had. And I remember she said, it's like you're waiting for someone to come and save you from what happened. And the system, the adults in your life when you were a child let you down. And you're carrying around this expectation or plea for someone to save you now. But you're looking in all the wrong places. You don't need to find someone to save you. You have someone in front of you that can do that. Just look in the mirror. And at that point, I'd always pointed the finger outwards, expecting others to stand up for me. But the whole time, I could have turned that finger around and pointed it at myself. Now, just to clarify, standing up for yourself doesn't mean exploding and reacting to others' behavior, although I definitely did go through that. What it means is creating internal armor, like boundaries, and a positive mindset that can be used to protect you from nasty conflict and bullying. I grew up believing that I had to put others before myself, but as an adult and a mother, it's clear how wrong that advice is. That's why they say on planes to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then help others. If you can take anything from my experience of being bullied, it's that your child needs you. They need you to protect them. They need you to show them how to have inner strength, and they need you to show them that it's crucial to put themselves first and be able to say no or that's enough. Here's the thing. Bullies are more likely to target children who show signs of emotional vulnerability. If your child has inner strength, they're going to be less likely to show this vulnerability, making them less attractive to bullies looking for an easy target. And this is why the Bully Proof Academy is so important. Because my program literally starts by building the foundations of inner strength into kids using activities such as the inner line, which I talk about in episode 2, and actionable strategies that can be used in the moment of bullying, which actually leads into the second thing that's needed to stop bullying, which is strategies. While inner strength, a growth mindset, and boundary setting are essential, your child also needs to have practical, actionable strategies they can use in the moment when bullying occurs. This is where parents can often struggle because they want to help their kids, but they don't always know what to tell them to do. If this is you, let's change this. If you're after some strategies, you can check out my strategies in the story highlights section on Instagram. There's a few of them there. Otherwise, there are heaps more inside Bullyproof Academy, which I'll link in the show notes. So it's one thing to have access to the strategies and another thing to use them effectively, right? The best way for your child to learn these strategies is to role play them together. I know it might sound really simple, but it's incredibly powerful. When your child practices what to say and how to respond to a bully in a safe and supportive environment, they build confidence, learn to manage their emotions, and feel prepared for real life situations. Role-playing takes what can feel overwhelming and gives your child a sense of control, turning uncertainty into empowerment. And these strategies aren't just effective for your child, but they work well with conflict in friendships and for you in the workplace. Think about it. When a child is caught off guard by a bully, it's easy for them to freeze, panic, or feel overwhelmed. But if they've practiced what to say and how to act ahead of time, their response becomes almost second nature. So let's face it, it's hard to stay calm when someone's being mean. But when your child practices these scenarios with you, they learn how to stay composed and not let their emotions take over. Remember, bullies often thrive on the reaction they get, whether it's anger, tears, or just fear. When your child role plays with you, they learn that they don't have to give that reaction. They can hold on to their power and their courage, and this builds inner strength. Learning strategies means that your child can choose how to respond in a way that feels strong and in control. And the absolute best part is that practicing strategies at home with you actually sends your child an important message, that they're not alone and that you're there to help them. And this makes them feel less isolated, which is crucial for anyone dealing with bullying. Hey there, imagine a future where your child feels strong, confident, and equipped to handle any challenge. That's what we're building together inside Bullyproof Academy. If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you're a parent looking for ways to support your child through bullying or friendship challenges. I get it. Watching your kids struggle is so tough, and it can leave you feeling helpless. That's why I created Bullyproof Academy, a one-of-a-kind program designed to give parents like you all the tools you need to help your child navigate these tough situations with confidence. It's not just about dealing with bullying. It's about giving your child the inner strength to stand tall, handle conflict, and thrive, no matter what life throws their way. The Academy is packed with over 15 actionable strategies and counting, all rooted in my Courage method, which focuses on building strength, strategies, and support. You'll get access to the Strategy Vault, step-by-step guidance for tackling tricky situations, and a growing library of resources for both you and your child. Think of it as your go-to playbook for raising a resilient, confident kid. So if you've been waiting for a sign to get the support you need, this is it. Head to thecourageedition.com to learn more and join the Academy, or just click the link in the show notes. All right, let's get back to the episode. The whole time I was bullied, I remember going to one counsellor session outside of the school, and the counsellor or psychologist, I can't remember, but he said to me to pretend that the bullies were red balloons and watch them float up into the sky and pop. I think I told you about this in the previous episode, and that strategy didn't work. But what I actually do remember from that session is that for the first time, and actually the only time during those years, I felt like someone tried to help me. So what I'm saying is that your child might not remember all of the actions you take to support them and protect them when they're dealing with bullying and conflict, but they will remember how you made them feel. And that feeling is going to be the difference between your child carrying the trauma of being bullied for years or moving past it. And this leads into the third thing that's needed to stop bullying, which is emotional support from you. When your child is being bullied, one of the most important things they need is emotional support. I can't stress this enough. Your support is like their anchor in a storm. Bullying can make a child feel isolated, it can make them feel rejected or even ashamed. But when they know they have a parent who truly sees them, listens to them and stands beside them, it makes a world of difference. Your love and understanding can be the key to helping them heal and rebuild their confidence. I unfortunately didn't have the greatest emotional support that I needed to get through bullying. I have to clarify here because, of course, my parents cared for me, loved me, kept a roof over my head. They did all the things they thought was needed to keep me safe. But, and this is by no means their fault, they just didn't know how to handle bullying, how to support me through it. A lot of their education in parenting came from their parents and their environment. I'm from one of the first generations to have access to information and education at my fingertips. And so learning how to parent with emotional support has been easier for me. So for a lot of us, parenting through bullying and conflict can feel really uncomfortable. And in my experience, I've found that a lot of parents are having to re-parent themselves while parenting their kids through these challenges. It can feel tough. But here's the reason we should be doing the hard work now. Instead of taking the approach of bullying will toughen up my child, or just punch the bully in the face, or even just you'll be right. If you do the hard work now, you're going to prevent your child from questioning if they're good enough or if they deserve to be liked. This is where your role is so critical. Your words and actions remind them of their worth and help counteract the negative messages they might be internalizing from the bully. Being emotionally supportive means creating a safe space for your child to open up. Kids who are bullied often hold in their feelings because they're afraid they'll upset you or make the situation worse. When you show them that you're there to listen without judgment or jumping straight to solutions, you make it easier for them to share. They then feel heard and understood and not alone. And the best part of being emotionally supportive is that it sets the tone for how your child will process and cope with the experience of bullying. When you model calm, empathy, and problem solving, you're teaching them valuable life skills for handling challenges in the future. Your ability to stay steady and supportive, even when your heart is being ripped out of your chest, shows them how to navigate difficult emotions and situations. And just remember, you don't need all the answers. All you need to do is be there, listen, and repeat back what they've told you. You don't have to pretend that everything is fine when it's not. But just acknowledging how hard it is and reminding them that you believe in their ability to get through this gives them hope and inner strength. And by doing this, you're actually setting them up to have a growth mindset, which is the fourth thing I wanted to talk to you about that's needed to stop bullying. So when your child is being bullied, helping them develop a growth mindset can be one of the most powerful gifts you can give them. A growth mindset is the belief that challenges and setbacks don't define them, and that setbacks are opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. Having this perspective is crucial if your child is dealing with bullying because it shifts their focus from feeling powerless to feeling capable of overcoming what's happening. The thing about bullying is that it can leave your child feeling stuck, like things will never get better. And it's easy for them to fall into that fixed mindset where they start to believe that their worth is determined by what the bully says or that they'll always struggle like this forever. And that was me. I had no resilience and a can't-do attitude. It wasn't until my 20s that I realized that my abilities, my confidence, and even friendships can grow and improve. And honestly, I don't think I fully understood that until I hit 30 when I had Avery. Don't you think that becoming a parent is basically having a mirror held up to you all the time? I had a huge realization when I had Avery that I didn't want him to suffer with a fixed mindset the way I had my entire life. And so I was going to do anything to make sure that he felt supported. And it's been a journey. Avery has very similar patterns to me, for better or worse. And so in some ways, it's easy for me to parent him through social issues and challenges because I know the gaps in my own journey. And I feel like I'm literally patching up the holes to make sure he's fully supported without overstepping, which I'm sure you know is such a balancing act. So part of having a growth mindset is that it helps your child separate the bullying from their identity because they're able to recognize that being bullied isn't about who they are. It's about someone else's behavior. Practicing a growth mindset actually encourages them to see the situation as something they can work through, not something they're trapped in, which can be a game-changing belief. It also helps your child to see the value in building skills to handle bullying. They start to understand that learning how to respond assertively, make new friends, or manage their emotions are skills they can develop over time, and this encourages them to stay open to strategies and solutions instead of feeling like nothing will work. It shifts their focus from feeling helpless to feeling empowered. And that's exactly what we work on in Bully Proof Academy. As a parent, you play a huge role in fostering this mindset because it starts with how you talk about challenges and how you model self-respect. A child who has respect for themselves has the ability to set firm boundaries for themselves, which is the fifth and final thing that's needed to stop bullying. Boundaries. Boundaries are what help your child protect their sense of self and show others how they expect to be treated. They're the invisible lines that say, this is okay and this is not okay. If your child is facing bullying, learning to set and maintain boundaries can be a powerful tool for building confidence, reducing the impact of a bully's behavior, and reclaiming control. If your child doesn't have clear boundaries, they might be feeling powerless if they're faced with bullying or conflict with their friends. Bullies often push limits to see how much they can get away with. So without boundaries, your child might not know how to respond, which can make them an easy target. Boundaries can be set with their words, actions, or even body language, and the strategies inside Bully Proof Academy are strategies that set boundaries. Building strong boundaries means that your child can start to separate the bully's behavior from their own self-worth, and this preserves their confidence and self-esteem. Even as an adult, I've not always set boundaries, and I've paid for it later. How many of you feel obligated to do something even when we don't want to? Trust me, I speak from experience when I say that setting boundaries feels really uncomfortable at first, but they get easier every single time you set one. So when something like that is difficult for us as parents, how can we expect our kids to be setting them? Well, the good news is that in the case of dealing with conflict with friends or bullying, boundary setting can start off really simple. In fact, it can be as simple as walking away from the situation. In my experience, many kids feel stuck when they're being bullied and unsure of how to respond. So role-playing strategies that set boundaries empower kids to make choices that prioritize their safety and their well-being. Every time your child asserts a boundary, they're reinforcing their belief that they deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. This can be incredibly empowering, especially when bullying or toxic friends has made them feel small or helpless. And even if the bully doesn't immediately stop, your child's sending a powerful message, which is, I'm strong enough to stand up for myself. And over time, this builds their confidence and teaches them that they have control over how others treat them. So just to recap, unfortunately, we can't wave a magic wand and stop bullying or toxic friends immediately for our kids, but we can set them up for success by building their inner strength, setting them up with actionable strategies, having great emotional support, transforming their mindset, and setting boundaries. And while this may take a little while to build, it's not just going to stop bullying for them in their current circumstances, but it's also going to set them up for life with skills they can use even as an adult. This week, if your child is struggling with nasty friends or bullying, focus on practicing one boundary setting strategy with your child. Start simple. Role play walking away from a negative situation, and let me know how it goes. So that's it from me. It's been a longer one today, and I appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you liked this episode, please let me know by giving me a review. I would really, really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time on the Courage Edition podcast. Bye for now.